Welcome to Lynn Cullen Live. Talk radio without the static. Email your questions and comments to lynncullenshow@gmail.com. And now your host, Lynn Cullen.
Oh yeah, you interrupted my scrolling. I wouldn't call it always doom scrolling. That always seems to be what is assumed. It is hard to avoid. It's hard to avoid what obviously makes us get a little down in the mouth. But I don't know. It's true. I bumped into something, I guess it's Neil deGrasse Tyson saying, it's taken medical science 200 years to advance humans to the point where people are so healthy and living so long that they can deny that science and medicine is what got them here. Yeah. I don't know. I found myself saying to the neighbor, one of my neighbors yesterday, but we were just talking about things in general, and I found myself saying, well, humans are the worst animals, and you feel like you can say that to anybody now, whether you know their politics or not. She didn't disagree. God Almighty. Okay, guys, I don't. I don't. I was watching MSNBC the other day. I do watch. If I watch anything, and I haven't seen I've given up on network news. The last few times I've checked in with it, it has become, I would say, about the same as a local television news broadcast back in the day when I finally said, I got to get out of this. When it was just ambulance chasing, water main breaks, anything that would make people gawk or fear. Not the things that they needed to know, like what had happened at City Hall that day or what their government was doing that would have genuine impact on them. But no, the sort of ambulance chasing, eye magnet stuff. And, I can't believe that the network news has gotten so just flat out unserious and tabloid. It's not. It is absolutely abdicated. The journalistic principle that the mission is to tell people what they need to know. That's gone. It is clearly just tell people what they want to see or know. Pander. If it's good video from some God knows where in the middle of who knows what, it doesn't matter if it has any impact on their lives in the little bit of time you actually have in that half hour. You use that time to show them pictures, like that phone in their hand does. So, man, guys, we're just going to keep getting stupider. I'm sorry. We're just going to keep getting stupider. I can't watch it. And what happens is if you keep watching it, you forget what it's once offered you. Walter Cronkite would just, would become ill. Truly. So, just saying. I got a call already? What? What did I say? What did I do? What's this about? Hello?
Hello. How you
Hello.
doing?
What?
I said, how you doing?
I'm in my usual state of whatever, misery.
I'm here.
Okay.
Hey, I got a cautionary tale of people that kind of in the same situation as I was,
Uh-oh.
who exercise, watch what you eat, your cholesterol's fine, you're on a statin, your numbers are fantastic, your EKG's fine, your blood pressure's controlled, and you got 3 stents later. And you had the Widowmaker blocked 99%. And the other one was blocked 90 and 150. Thankful for AGH doctors. I'm still here.
Oh,
I'm still
thank
here. So.
God. What the hell?
Yeah. That was,
When did
yeah.
this
So
when
you
did
think,
this happen? When?
2 weeks ago.
Oh my
I was in there for.
God.
Yeah. I
So
mean, I'm doing everything I did before. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So you think you're doing everything you're supposed to follow the doctor. No, see, it runs in my family, so that's one thing.
Sure.
But it was a stroke. But yeah, I was walking the dog and I could barely make it home. I just barely got in the house and told my wife to call 911. And everybody heard it. He had a stroke. He had not a stroke, a heart attack.
Heart
Yeah,
attack.
I can't believe myself. I almost had to get an open heart surgery, but I didn't. I just got stents. Thank God. I was sweating that out. But there's so many people walking around. I told my wife that their numbers are good. And they say, I'm good. My heart's good. My neighbor says it. I say, the doctor listens to my heart all the time. Sounds good. I said, that ain't. There's more of it. You better dig deeper, buddy. You got to dig deeper. Go to a cardiologist. Get some more. You got that in your family. Go to a cardiologist. I wish I would have. I could have kept tabs on it. But I was one I exercise. I do all the things you're supposed to.
Thank God. Thank God that
that's
they
what I said.
got to you in time. Oh my God.
Yeah.
What I mean, yeah, I had a friend who was in his 40s and just gotten a new job and just sold his house and was moving out of town, gets to the new place and was working out in the gym because he was in great shape, and bang. And he did not have the outcome you had. He was dead. Wow.
And the whole time they're doing this stent, my heart's just performing beautiful. They say, your heart's performing beautiful. There's nothing wrong with your heart. It's just the highway going to the heart. I said, oh, gee. And
so it's not the heart, it's the artery going to it. Got blocked.
That's CAD, coronary heart disease. What is it? Artery disease. Yeah, that's what you got to watch.
Well, so what do they do for that? What is what?
They put 3 stents in me. They went in my groin and put 3 in me, and everything seems. I feel great. I mean, I was ready to do stuff that after they had it done. They said, "Oh no, you got to take a week off." Everything,
yeah.
But
give yourself.
I had Dr. Larsaris or in AGH.
Okay.
They were wonderful and people. I know people get a lot of bad press for that, but those nurses couldn't have been any better in the cardiac.
No, I don't think most of my doctors are at AGH because I so detest the evil empire that is UPMC that I long ago went to AGH, and I had my last surgery there a few months back, and I'm about to have another surgery there next month. So I know I had nothing, but I think the people there are wonderful, amazing.
Yeah,
Thank
they are.
God they saved you. I know that ER well. I
Yeah,
do. Oh dear.
but
God. Well, thank
but I just wanted to, let people know, just maybe deep a little. If you have it in a family, go a little deeper. Don't do like I did. Oh, I'm fine. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I wish I would have, but what are you going to do?
Can I ask how old you
I
are?
don't know. 68. I'll be 68. So I'm not, real
No,
old.
well, I'm 10 years older than you are.
Yeah.
You're young stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. But lots of wrong. My wife always says, "You're a young 68." She said, "I'm an old 69." I said, "Get out of here." She said all these health problems, and I said,
Well,
because I do stuff guys my age don't do, like the exercise and weightlifting. Of course, I backed off on that. I'm kind of scared to do that now too.
well,
You know?
genetics, as you said, in your family. I mean, genetics is a biggie, and yeah, yeah, and you can't. But you know what? The heart stuff now it's amazing. All these things that would have killed the last generation. People, you keep going. My dad lived with
It killed my
terrible,
grandfather.
yeah, killed my dad's dad, killed his brothers. Did He had his first heart attack in his 40s, my father, and he lived to 86 because he had a
Yeah.
pacemaker and because he had all this other stuff that they could do. Yeah.
Yep.
And
But
now I got a
yeah.
pacemaker and I'm just following in his footsteps. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I
Wow.
have a pacemaker. I'm
Huh.
a medical mess. But
Oh, jeez. Sorry to hear that.
you know what it tells you? It tells you it's so true. And of course, we whistle by the graveyard. We don't want to think that in a split second, on any given moment, we could be gone. That's just the way it
Yeah.
is. And so,
Well, you hit the nail on the head when you
yeah,
said life is fragile. You said that in one of your
yes.
shows. That is
Yeah.
so true.
So
Gosh.
the lesson we learn is what? Enjoy, do, live your life, appreciate
Exactly.
your life.
Yes.
I don't think it's as much as having fun that just appreciate being alive
Yes.
because you don't know.
Yep.
And,
Yeah. You're right.
whatever.
Yep.
It's so good to hear your voice. Thank you for
Okay.
sharing that. Really, we're
Yeah,
very.
I figured I would. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you for listening.
Okay, be
Bye.
well. Be well. Bye. Wow.
Yep. Bye.
Bye. Yeah. Wow. Man. Yeah. Just like that. Just like that. My sister was telling me about the a woman who lives two houses down from my mom, um, and how she and her husband were vacationing in somewhere in Germany, and she slipped in the shower and she's dead. I mean, it's just, yeah. I It's hard to, it's not like you keep it in mind all the time how one minute you're here and the other you're gone. But yeah, wow. Hmm. Okay. Hey, well, that said, I actually have here, I came across this Pittsburgh Quarterly does this. This is going to be, um, they they often publish, here's all the prominent Pittsburghers who died since last we published. So I thought maybe well, I don't know, where do I have this? I don't know where I did put it. But some of these I hadn't known about or missed. because I don't get the damn, Post-Gazette, the scab paper, I haven't touched it since the strike, which is now almost two years. God. So I am not as on top of things as I used to be. Here, Chris just wrote, when I had my triple bypass last week. Oh, right, Chris, you had told me you were. Yes, good to hear from you. Good to hear from you. My God, my entire audience is having triple bypass. When's your triple bypass? When's mine? I got to get my knee replaced first. Chris writes, when I had my triple bypass last week, my cardiologist asked what I'm eating because my cholesterol was better than normal. My Widowmaker was 94% blocked, but in an area that could not have stents. I already have 2 stents from a prior heart attack. The doctor said I cannot outrun genetics. Heart problems run in my family. I'm 51. Wow. So tell Joe I wish him well in his recovery. Oh, guys, yeah. I'll tell you what the lesson is. We got to pick our parents better. I don't know. People, when they hear like my mom is going to be 103, they say, oh, hey, you got good genes. And I say, well, no, because she married my dad and everybody in his family was dead in their 50s. And he just managed to stay alive because of modern medicine and my mom feeding him correctly and teaching him how to swim. Oh, God. And I take after him. I mean, I'm just totally take after him. Oh, gosh. Well, Chris, wishing you the best, and all of us, all of you, all of us, in all of our personal medical struggles. Wow. So maybe I shouldn't do the obits. What the hell? There were just some that I didn't know had died, and or here's one who was just an amazing woman who I had the honor of meeting, I think once, Cecile Springer, who lived a long life, died at 94. She had master's degrees in chemistry and urban and regional planning. She was a research chemist. She was a manager of product development. I didn't know any of this at Westinghouse Electric. I knew her because of her leadership in the NAACP and a whole bunch of other. I mean, this woman was everywhere. Wow. And it says here, yeah, she co-founded the Women and Girls Foundation, leadership roles in the NAACP, the League of Women Voters, emerita member of the Board of Trustees of Penn State. The board served on the boards of the Carnegie Museums, the library, and a distinguished daughter of Pennsylvania, I bet. What an amazing woman, Cecile Springer. Wow. And then it turns out Leopold Stokowski, do you know that name? He was, one of the great orchestral conductors of the last century, Stokowski. Who knew? His daughter lived here and died this year at the age of 103, Sonia Thorbeck. Oh my God, it says here she was a Broadway actress who studied at the Neighborhood Playhouse, which is where I studied in New York. Before marrying and having 4 children in the last years of her life, she lived in Sewickley, where she raised thoroughbred horses. That was Leopold Stokowski's daughter went to the neighborhood playhouse and lived in Sewickley? Who knew? Just saying. Hartley King died at 91. He was, King Family Restaurants. In 1967, he invested in a struggling restaurant called the Pig and Go. Pig and Go. No wonder it was struggling. What a disgusting name. So he buys a restaurant called the Pig and Go and grew it into King's Family Restaurants in 36 locations. He was also a developer who joined a group with Gary Player, the golfer, to build the Diamond Run Golf Club. I don't know what that is. Anyway. Okay, here's another one. I don't know that guy. Well, this is sort of interesting. Dr. Mark Wholey of the Wholey Fish folks in the Strip District, which has been there since 1912. This Mark Foley wasn't into fish. And actually, his dad said he was really lousy with the customers because most of the kids went into the family business. And so this guy, Mark, who wasn't good with the customers, became a doctor and then a pioneer and inventor in the field of interventional radiology. So, geez. So Wholey's loss in this regard was a lot of people's gain in that I'm sure this stuff saved God knows how many lives. He was in a fellowship in Sweden when he was exposed to a new form of imaging that visualized blood vessels. Guys, what we've been talking about. So his work saved, I'm sure, tons of people who otherwise would not have been saved. And he came back to Pittsburgh and he introduced this angiography to Shadyside Hospital. And he became the chairman of radiology and director of cardiovascular and interventional radiology. He also, listen to this, developed other devices, including steerable guide wires and stents. He could have been selling fish in the Strip District if he'd gone into his dad's business. Wow. And I didn't know this. How did I not know that Bruno Tambolini died? 99, Bruno. I had the delight of meeting him a number of times and of sitting next to him at Heinz Hall for a tribute to Chili Billy Cardille, who had been involved in wrestling as well as in television and radio. I'd worked with Billy in radio and TV. Bruno had certainly worked with him in the ring. And that's not who I meant. Jesus, I'm so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed. Who am I thinking of? See, this is what happens when you're 150. Bruno Sammartino. That's not who's dead. He is dead. I'm talking about Bruno Sammartino. This guy is Bruno Tambolini, the restaurant guy. How embarrassing. And this is interesting though. We'll leave my embarrassment aside and go back to Bruno Tambolini, not Sammartino. Says here he was the last surviving sibling of the family that built the Tambolini restaurant dynasty in Pittsburgh. And he was born in Italy. He graduated from Pitt with a degree in chemical engineering and worked with Willard Rockwell at Rockwell Manufacturing. Now here's another instance where sort of like the Wholey guy. So both these guys, one went one way, one went the other. Tambolini could have gone into who knows where, with Rockwell and chemical engineering, but it turns out food was in his genes, and he went back to the family business and into the restaurants. This just came out. I'm interrupting myself. Epstein grand jury transcripts include testimony from 2 witnesses. The transcripts the Justice Department is seeking to make public include testimony from just 2 law enforcement witnesses. That disclosure, made in a court filing late yesterday, raises questions over whether the department's push to unseal those transcripts will satisfy the clamoring for greater transparency surrounding the investigation. So they're just saying there's nothing there. Nothing there. Anyway, there you go. So, what an odd show this is. Bruno. So Bruno Sammartino, I mean, I did some stories with him and interviewed him a number of times, and what a life story he had. He survived World War II in the mountains of Italy as a child with his family. I mean, they were taking shelter here, running there. It was, he remembers it as a time of terror. And he was such, and it's going to sound strange, for a guy who was the epitome of wrestling, he was one of the most gentle men I'd ever met. Kind, soft-spoken, cute sense of humor. He was so and the professional wrestling that he did, that he reigned in, was not what it became, and he was very put off by what the Vince McMahons of the world did to his beloved sport. I'm not going to pretend to be able to argue what was so upsetting to him, but he didn't approve. But what a great guy. And then through him, I met another old wrestler, Dominic DeNucci. Do any of these names ring any bells for people? What another great character. and he had a school out somewhere, I think north of Pittsburgh, where he taught wrestling. Oh God, I made the mistake of asking him during an interview. Well, but it is, come on, fake. And man, he grabbed me by the neck, put me in a bit of a hold, and rubbed his knuckles into my skull, laughing the whole time. But yeah, Dominic DeNucci, what a great character he was. Love those guys. So anyway, okay, enough. Did you see, generally considered one of the most important films of all time, Citizen Kane, which I never got because I never liked that film. Don't ask me why. I just never did. But I don't know. I don't know anything about film. Anyway, I saw, and this is just mind blowing to me. One of the things that figures in the film, of course, is the last words that the protagonist, the guy based on William Randolph Hearst, played by Orson Welles, says as he dies in his mansion, friendless and alone, is Rosebud. And then the film is about the dogged attempt by journalists to uncover what that meant, Rosebud. And Rosebud, it turns out, was the make of this little red wooden sled he had as a boy. And in the movie, you see, I think you see the sled at the very beginning when he's shown as a boy, and then maybe at the end, I don't know. Yeah, at the end. And there were 4 sleds that were available to the production as they made Citizen Kane back in 1940-41. And one of the red sleds, one of the Rosebuds, recently sold at an auction. And you're not going to believe what someone paid for this wooden red sled, little kid sled. Or maybe you are, because for some people, money doesn't mean anything. It sold for $14.75 million. Almost $15 million. Somebody paid to have bragging rights to say, hey, so you want to see Rosebud? It's so pathetic what the rich crave, what they're left to crave. When you can have anything and everything, it just becomes a pissing contest, doesn't it? A bragging rights thing, because at some point you can't eat more or enjoy yourself more, or you can't even acquire more. You can try, like Citizen Kane did, where he ends up with just surrounded by stuff and things and acquisitions and becoming more and more miserable as a result. But so the whole idea, I mean, it makes perfect sense as some clueless asshole spent almost $15 million for this sled, and if they ever even saw the damn movie, didn't get what the movie teaches you, or should. Somebody who's doing exactly what Citizen Kane did, amass stuff so that he could be on top. And in his dying breath, the only thing he cares about is that little wooden sled from his poor childhood. That had value. Really extraordinary. And that turns out to not be the highest price ever paid for a piece of movie memorabilia. Not even close. Somebody paid more than twice as much, $32.5 million, for Dorothy's red slippers from The Wizard of Oz. God almighty. So, some of you know that I think, that I have had a decades-long correspondence with a man who I've never met, who's serving life in prison for murders. And he was, I guess, just turned 19 when he committed these murders. Oh, God. It was a horrific thing, and clearly some kind of mental break. But he has lived his life behind bars. And he is self-taught, must read voraciously, so smart. In fact, did I tell you this, that he just had he's had like two, I don't even know what you call them. He sent them to me. I don't even comprehend what they are. Two like science and mathematical equations of some sort that he's come up with, that have been published in major journals because they're so brilliant. And I guess he sends this stuff to me, and I'm looking at it and thinking, what? And he's tried to explain it to me, and it's so beyond me, it's beyond belief. But anyway, he's very interested in everything. And I happened to write to him yesterday, and he's always sending me stuff, information. And the one thing that I hadn't seen before, and I'm going to share this with you now because it is so unbelievable to me. I don't know what publication he got this out of. That's unclear. But it's from June of this year, and it's a column by a guy named Solomon Stevens. And the headline is "Americans Fed Up with Democracy." And that's followed by a question mark. And in the course of the column, what sets the column off is that U.S. News and World Report apparently released some data on polling they had done around the globe. Same questions asked of people in Asia, Europe, US, South America, yada, yada, yada. And one of the questions asked was whether you agreed or disagreed with the statement, "My country's leader should have total unchecked authority." Now, I didn't see this when it came out. I'm afraid to tell you. What, and who knows how good the survey was, but how off could it be? In the US, because they did this in 36 different countries. In the United States, the response to that un-American statement, my country's leader should have total unchecked authority, the response was 57.5% agreed. How is that even possible? How is that possible? I mean, if that is true, if that is actually even close to true, then this experiment, the United States of America, as Franklin said, a republic, madam, if you can keep it, had a pretty short run. Because in the course of human history, a nation that survives for just 250 years is pretty much a flash in the pan. Wow. And the article goes, I mean, there's no reason to even talk about this. So the guy says, you know, psychologists tell us that the attraction of authoritarianism has very deep roots in a lot of people. People who want things to be like they remember they were. People who had strong daddies. People who like living with a lot of rules and aren't themselves with having the responsibility of minding their own business, having someone mind it for them. So the columnist goes on to say authoritarianism offers many people a kind of solution to the feeling of, you know, powerlessness. And, well, if you want to be powerless, yeah, hand out. You don't like, wait a minute, I can't, you know what? I can't anymore. I can't handle this. Their solution for feeling powerless is to give up their power that they're given in a democracy to an authoritarian, which begets a system in which they are powerless. But what he's talking about is this psychological sense of powerlessness over the rapid changes in their lives. And they somehow want it to go away. So we can see here how it is, you know, what are they going after? DEI. Because they want things to go back to when white men ruled. I had not seen that, and I wrote him back and said, geez, thanks a lot. I went nuts. It just made me nuts. Incredible. Okay. So, oh, hey, shocker, shocker. The evil-looking evil guy, Bove, shockingly was confirmed by the United States Senate, by the Republicans in the United States Senate, for a lifetime appointment to one of the most powerful judiciary positions outside of the Supreme Court. And the general feeling is that's where he'll end up. Bove on the Supreme Court? Because it's assumed that before he finishes us all off, he's going to get Thomas or Alito to resign. But why would he put Bove in? Bove's not that young. He's younger. And he looks like he doesn't have blood in his veins. He looks like he has formaldehyde, so maybe he'll live forever. I don't know. Guys, I have to tell you, tomorrow is Throwback Thursday, where I'm supposed to, lighten things up. And at this point, I don't have a clue. If you've got any ideas, let me know, okay? Well, I'll sleep better tonight knowing that our government, the Environmental Protection Agency, indeed, has rescinded the finding that planet warming greenhouse gases pose a threat to public health. I'm so happy to hear it. So, yeah, they have, maybe that's what Neil deGrasse Tyson was saying when, just ignore the science. Just ignore it. Ignore what's in front of our very eyes as we're, under increasing heat warnings, not to mention these bizarre storms we have now that and scientists tell us, guys, this is because of us and our burning fossil fuels and setting it off into the atmosphere, and it's warming the oceans and it's warming everything, and this is happening, and they figured it all out, what's going on, and that we need to do something about it. The EPA under Donald Trump and the Republicans have decided that the science is wrong and there's nothing we can do about it. And so the EPA has essentially said they have no authority, even under the Clean Air Act, to regulate greenhouse gas emissions. There's nothing we can do, kids. I'm sorry. There's too many of us making too much money off it. So never mind. And this I saw as well in the Times today. In March, you won't believe this one. In March, the Trump administration created a novel way for companies to potentially avoid complying with environmental rules. And that is A, simply send an email to the EPA and request an exemption. Literally, as far as these reporters were able to find, at least 15 power plants, coal-burning power plants, immediately sent off emails to the EPA saying, hey, guys, can you give us an exemption on, so we don't have to abide by any of these rules? 4 steel mills also, you can bet the ones around here did, sent in emails, 4 chemical plants, and 2 mines. This is all according to documents reviewed by the New York Times. And lo and behold, the EPA, in its infinite wisdom and beneficence, gave all 15 coal plants exemptions. They do not have to anymore curb several hazardous air pollutants, including mercury, that can cause developmental problems in infants. And all 4 of the chemical facilities were also given exemptions from restrictions on other horrific pollutants that they're putting into the air, including ethylene oxide, which is linked to several types of cancers. I'm telling you, this administration exists to kill as many people as it can. I mean, I keep thinking back about, Trump saying I can shoot somebody in the middle of, where did he say, Madison Avenue, and nothing will happen. Well, that's peanuts compared to what he's figured out he can do. He can kill millions of starving children and refugees all over the world by withholding food and aid. He can kill Americans by destroying FEMA and destroying all of these regulations designed to keep our air and water clean. He can kill Americans by eviscerating the National Institutes of Health and destroying all the scientific research going on at universities all over the country. I mean, there's no way to calculate the number of people who will die because of this administration. Oh, and look at that. Speaking of that, 2 more higher ups have left FEMA, the head of its search and rescue unit. So appalled by the inability to respond properly in Texas, has said, I can't take this and I can't work here. And he is out. He'd been there for more than a decade, and he said, I cannot work. I cannot do what I'm supposed to do with these people in charge. He says, all there is here now is chaos. The fact that they lost this guy who knew how to actually try to rescue people was greeted thusly by a spokesperson for Kristi Noem, the Homeland Security Secretary who presides over FEMA now. They said this: it is laughable that a career public employee who claims to serve the American people would choose to resign over this. We are responsible for taxpayer dollars. That is our job. Attempting to spin a personal career decision into some big scandal is ridiculous. And she went on to say that FEMA responded to the flooding in Texas better than it had to any other disaster in many, many years. You can't make it up. Also, that guy, his name was Ken Pagarek. He isn't the only one who left. 2 weeks before he threw in the towel, another guy who had led FEMA's Disaster Command Center, Jeremy Greenberg, he said, I'm out of here. His job was to coordinate the national response to earthquakes, floods, and other disasters. So the next other disaster that occurs, and it'll be just around the corner, the two guys most responsible and with the institutional knowledge of how to help Americans caught up in whatever horror this will be, won't be there. And you'll have some incompetent newbie whose only requirement is that they know how to say, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. And Americans will die. That's the truth. Ay, ay, ay. So here's just one thing I want to get in. So Trump can't shut up about Epstein. And so on US on Air Force One, the old decrepit Air Force One, not the gazillion-dollar one that supposedly is free, that will cost taxpayers gazillions to retrofit, that he's getting and then will be able to keep as a private citizen. Not that one, the old decrepit one that every other president flew on with no problem. He was talking to reporters and giving us more information about why he severed ties with his good friend Jeffrey Epstein. And where do I have it here? There is, a fascinating timeline, actually, where he said that he kicked Epstein out because he was taking his people. And he, in response to a reporter, did acknowledge that one of the people he took was this 16-year-old Virginia Giuffre, and he used the word, he stole her, as if Trump owned her. A 16-year-old is working at Mar-a-Lago in the spa, and Epstein goes in and plucks her out and then abuses her for 2 years, keeps her as a sex slave. Now, what's interesting to me about this is 2000. That is when she worked at Mar-a-Lago. It was 2 years after she was stolen that Trump gave that quote to New York Magazine that Epstein liked beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. 2 years after he stole this young girl from Trump. Trump's still on okay terms. He's like laughingly talking about how, yeah, Jeffrey likes him on the young side. And then the year after that, 2003, he sends that 50th birthday party note to Epstein. Which tells you what? That's not why he severed ties with Epstein. He knew what Epstein was up to. And for all we know, what he himself liked as well. I mean, you have to be deaf, dumb, and blind not to see what the cover up about here is. And then a friend sent me this from CBS News that they did a deep dive into the tape, the jail tape from outside Epstein's cell when he was found dead. And CBS has come up with all kinds of stuff that doesn't compute. Unidentified individual passing through, staffers who are supposed to be on the lookout, clearly asleep, the missing minute of tape, all kinds of stuff, which shows also that this is not the original tape that was shown. And man, guys, it's a cover-up. It's a badly done cover-up. And us oldsters know it's never the crime. It's the attempt to cover it.
Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com. The opinions expressed on Lynn Cullen Live are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Pittsburgh City Paper or its advertisers.